Good morning, December 7th, and I started my day with hot cocoa with marshmallows. Look, I am gonna get stuff done today. The first thing that was on the calendar was this Twitter party from Sid's Girls, Massive Sway blogger influencer circle, but now that I'm on there, I see that it's about keeping it real, like as in real trees. I'm not with a real tree this year. And I'm not necessarily against a real tree. I'm just really not spending a lot of money this Christmas at all whatsoever, including a tree. But if you want one, Costco has the best deal. It was like 7 to 8 foot Christmas tree, and it was really nice. They had them on display, and it was only $50. Living in San Diego, you don't have this option of going to a farm and actually cutting down your tree. Not that I know of, but there are tree farms where you can go pick one up that's already been cut for you. Next thing on my agenda today is to look for a new coat since I'm living in leggings. Nowadays, because nothing fits my belly, I need a longer coat. And I do have one, but I've had the one that I've had for I think 5 years now. It's a puffy black jacket, and it's just, Now I'm looking for dresses that are nursing friendly, so pretty much button down, and longer dresses that cover my knees. So shortly after going through all of that, putting stuff in my cart and about to check out, I went to go check on how much I could spend, and I had to be an adult and not spend any, even though it's at 60% off and more. So I wanted to take this time to share with you guys what every dollar is. This is my iPad, and I want to show you this app. So right here, every dollar. It's an app that we learned through Dave Ramsey. This app lets you or helps you plan your month before the income comes in. And if you choose to, with this app, you get to see all your transactions come through after linking it to your bank account and cross-reference that with the planned budgets. The point of this app is to see how well you plan for where your money goes, see where you've overspent, and see where you have funds remaining. This app has been personally hard for me because when you actually do this, you actually have to plan where it goes. And when you plan to be an adult and pay off your bills and be responsible with your money, you will also see where you cannot spend. The first step is putting in your income. So whatever your income is, that's your budget. And then you put that in, and then you anticipate coming out of your bank account, so that will be like your mortgage, your gas, maintenance, food, life stuff. And this budgeting app isn't just for debt or things that would be pulling out this month. You could also use it for savings, to save up money for future appointments, for future purchases that you may not be using this month, but you can use this month's income to set aside for future things like the homeschool co-op classes. For example, I can enroll my kids in homeschooling co-op classes with our co-op, but that takes quite a big chunk when they're due twice a year, so I place it on the budget, leave the money alone in the bank because it's been spoken for, and then when the time comes and the dues are due, then we have the money. Otherwise, if you don't plan for things and transactions and money leave your bank account, you get a red line. And to some, that may not be a whole big of a deal, but that really means that if you spent it somewhere where you didn't plan it, you're actually taking from something more important or higher on the priority list, or an unavoidable bill, because you always plan for things that are of value to you, things that you need, necessity, and things that you can't avoid. And almost always we will learn that when you go in the red for anything, it's really just poor planning or impulse, and you didn't stick to the plan. And yes, things happen, and that's just Murphy's Law. Things are going to screw up and break apart. So that's what these things are for, and every month put some money aside. Once you planned your month in the beginning, or even prior to the month starting, you then will go throughout the month at this category, the spent category. On the bottom of this page, it will actually have these little bubbles, which are bank transactions, and then you will go ahead and put them in the categories that they belong to. You don't see any bubbles here right now because I already placed them in their categories. Let me show you how it looks when they haven't been placed in their categories. So October, I didn't do it. So I have 266 transactions to place into their categories. I also didn't tell where this amount of money was to go. Yeah, October was not a good month in adulting. But we are back now. We're good. We're good with God. We know what's coming. We know what's not coming. It's inspiring and humbling at the same time. I have a love and hate for budgeting because it really just, it tells you what is, not what you want to hear or want to see. It's just straight up facts. For example, we love to go buy food and go out to eat. And for this month, we budgeted $600 for groceries and $124 for restaurants. Throughout the month, we will be going to these places, Jimbo's, Barron's, Sprouts, and also places that we like to eat. And transactions will come in and I place them in their categories and the system will add them up and it shows me how much you spent right here. If I want to see how much I have left of what I planned and actually from what I've spent, I go to this right here, the remaining button, and I can scroll down and see how much of my budgeted funds or income I have left to spend. So for food, I have $523. And for restaurants, and that includes Farmers Market, Starbucks, Peet's Coffee, anything, $58.46. That's it. And yes, you can go over your budget because like in our case, we planned later and after these transactions came through, so we didn't have proper planning or outlook or anticipation of what transactions we're going to go through for the online stuff, as well as this item that was purchased on a Black Friday sale. It was really, really good sale, but we didn't save up for this big ticket item, so now we got to take from something else, which in my case is the earnings from these businesses that we try to keep on our other account, but we're going to have to bring it over here to pay for this. There you go. That is the gist of the Every Dollar app. You plan where your money is going to go, you see where you've spent it, and you see if there's anything remaining or where you've totally screwed up and gone overboard and will never, ever, ever, ever have another cup of coffee from Peet's Coffee ever again.